Well, everybody, COVID-19. Am I right? It's been a trip. I know it's not over yet, but I think we're finally starting to see the light at the end of this tunnel. Things are starting to shift into place where we can start moving towards getting back into our church building, and that's exciting. But as we go through this, we don't want this just to be a page in our book. We want to take something away from this. And I think one of the things that I saw is the growth of the media side of our church. I think we saw value in media that we never saw before. Or at least maybe we felt like our church just wasn't capable or wasn't a need for our church because we are such a rural church. Little town of Penn Yan. Maybe we just didn't think we needed it. But it's amazing how much you realize you need something when you're forced into circumstances that make it so you need those things. And that's kind of where we are. Amongst other churches, we're not the only ones. Many churches just going online because it's the only way they can meet. Being as social as they could while social distancing. Well, I think if anything, we've seen the value of this live stream. And maybe it gave us a glimpse of what it's like to be someone who's lost and finds a church, finds a live stream. Sees the hope on the screen, sitting in their pajamas on a couch, gets to hear the gospel through their tablet or phone or laptop, smart TV, whatever it might have been. Those little glimpses, I think, are going to help us to make decisions that'll increase the way we reach our community and beyond that. So, in talking with our pastor, we've really come to the conclusion that there's a whole ministry that we have not tapped into to the best of our ability yet, and that is social media. Whether it be YouTube recordings, live streams on Facebook, small media messages throughout the week, whatever it may be, that's an area that our culture right now drives by a lot. We're a media-driven culture, and we don't want to create an atmosphere where all it is media. We want, at the core of all of that media, it to all come back to the kind of church that we are, that worships God. We want all of it to point back to God and glorify God. But at the same time, are we really doing our best right now? See, Russell and I talked a lot. We have come to this place where, as far as these media things go, we want to be professionally authentic. But what does that mean? We want to be as professional as we can with all the areas of these media outreaches, but still be the authentic Penn Yan Assembly God that we are. The authentic believers that we are. And it's going to take all of us working together, choosing to see this as a ministry that's needed and not just a side project that the church is doing. It's going to take all of us working together, praying together, working on the tech team, financially working together, because the church just cannot do it alone. And it shouldn't have to. And we're the church at the end of the day. And at this point, we're moving back to where people are going to come together, and it's going to be a great fellowship. But not everybody's there yet. Not everybody's ready to walk through those doors. So even if it's for one person, even if it's for the one person, isn't it worth it? So as we move forward, believing that this is what God wants for our church, we're asking that you might come alongside us and help with some of the financial needs, help with some of the volunteer needs. If you have technical abilities, please reach out to me. I want to see your gifts being used. I want to know that we can pull you in on the team and your gifts can be used to glorify God and build up this ministry. And then obviously, for everyone, pray. Pray for the ministry. That's huge. Don't think that because it's prayer that it's not enough. The prayer reaches into the spiritual battlefield and accomplishes things we could never do on our own. So please be praying. There's really no cost to going live as far as the software we use, and the Facebook lets us do it for free. But there's cost in the equipment. So today I want to outline some of the equipment needs, where we're at with this ministry, what we need to get to that professionally authentic live stream, professionally authentic media. And if you, at the end of this, have these areas, one of these areas, all of these areas, this entire ministry as it is, then definitely reach out to us. You can do the PayPal link and then just make a note that it's for this specific ministry or specific thing on this list. You can also write a check and have it sent to the address that's going to be right here. And if you send that, you can just make it out to Penn Assembly of God. Okay, so number 1 on the list. If you've ever been in our live stream, maybe you've heard the audio. It's a little rough around the edges. Well, the first thing we really need to do this professionally is we need to get another digital board. What do I mean by that? Well, right now we have what's called Behringer X32. Ideally, getting another identical board, they would work the best together. There are other versions of this board we can get that are slightly cheaper. But the budget at its core for this board, we would need to get between $1,500 and $2,500 to be able to buy this board to professionally do the audio so that the people that are watching can hear the worship clearly, and they can hear each individual person clearly, and everything doesn't sound like it's coming through a can. If we really want to get there, that's a need. That's a need when it comes to that equipment. So that's a big one. Another big one is the cameras. Again, if you've watched the live stream, you see people are a little blurry. We have 2 cameras we bounce back and forth between, and neither one of them is exactly the same, so they don't put out the same video. And the quality is different between the 2. Well, the best fix to that is to get truly professional video cameras that are made to do this. And after a couple years of shopping around and going through and figuring out exactly what's going to be the best for our church and reading other churches' recommendations and things like that, I think we've gone down to where we can get these new Canons. I think we've finally figured out what we need. And that's really just the Canon G50. These cameras are not cheap. They're also not the most expensive of all the professional cameras out there. So we're looking at about $1,000 a piece. So after taxes, we'll need between $2,000 and $2,500 to get these cameras. And then, on top of that, we also need all the cabling. There's various cables. We need HDMI cables, splitters, different hookups for the mics. There's just various cables we're going to need as we progress in this. And in order to get all these different things, the mounts for the camera on the back wall, all the various things, we're going to need about $500 for just the cabling and the little accessories. Now I know we're between $5,000 and $6,000 at this point for these things on this list here. But I believe that if this is God's heart, and I believe that it is, that we move forward into this ministry, then He's going to supply it through His people, through His blessings. We all could tell stories of how God just made money show up, or just made items show up that were in need. God fulfills our needs. But He also stretches us. He also has us step up to the plate in faith that if we give, then He's going to shovel it back in, So if any of these areas come to your mind, or if specifically to one of the bigger ones or whatever you want to donate some towards, then definitely reach out to us. And again, as we move forward in this, I believe God is going to bless it. And at the end of the day, it's not about the numbers, it's not about becoming famous. We don't need to be the next Bethel to reach the one. We can just be Pena Assembly of God, and we can reach the one. But we also know that as God wants, we can reach more than that. We can go past our town, past our county, past our state, and even past our country, and reach beyond the borders through one little live stream. And that's my hope, that if we give it our all, God is going to give it His all, and no one's going to be able to stop it from reaching the lost. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for watching this video. Again, we love you all. Can't wait to see you in person. And we'll catch you guys later. God bless.